when they head to the Valley to face Charlton. Well, we are underway, and it's Hardy who gets us started for Bristol City. They've been in impeccable form over the last 3 matches, unbeaten over those 3. And they really started to get their attacking prowess going in the matchup last time out against Sunderland. Showed us how good they can be. They've got a spot of defending to do, though, here, as Rowe tries to advance up into the penalty area. Battling away, she will do for the whole game. Doesn't come away with the ball on this occasion, and Bristol City tidy up. A really positive start, though, from Ipswich, the newly promoted team. Big challenge for any newly promoted side, and it's always the question, how quickly can you step up to the challenge of the new division? How quickly can you adapt? Here is Sophie Ingle, who gets onto the ball early doors, and she finds Marie Ward, the England under-23 fullback, on the right-hand side. Her pass here along the touchline will just stay in play. That's a nice early ball into the penalty area. Ingle will pick up after it's cleared away. Poking through is Lexi Lloyd-Smith, who started this season in unbelievable fashion and is already on to 3 goals. The one she scored last week in the game against Sunderland was really special. And if she continues to play like that, Bristol City have a top player on their hands. Really seems to be developing very nicely indeed. Well, as we would have imagined in this game, it's Bristol City who, after a flurry from Ipswich at the beginning of the game, are assuming control. Well broken up in midfield by Peskett, who looks to turn away, dropping a bit deeper as she likes to do. Had such a fabulous season last time around in the promotion campaign, and she can so often be the one who can spark something special for this team. Quick ball out towards Rowe here on the left-hand side, in a more familiar position of wing-back. Have seen her over the course of the campaign stepping up into midfield. Bristol City able to clear the ball away, Ipswich throw-in, and it will be taken by the captain, Rowe, who is looking for an option ahead of her. Well, Charlotte Healy spoke after that brilliant win against Sunderland last time out and said that win really means nothing if we don't do anything here. It's a chance for Rhianna Dean. It never really looked likely to trouble Fran Bentley. She sends the volley way wide in the end. And out for a goal kick. Well, Joe Sheehan did such a fabulous job last season of getting Ipswich Town up into WSL 2. Massive job on his hands with Ipswich this season. But if he was to win this one here today, it would likely take Ipswich off of the foot of the table. Size with the clearance, and Bristol City looking to break, but no chance to get away, and Peskett's onto it very quickly indeed. Drifting out to the right-hand side of the penalty area, the cutback is there. And it's a chance from range, and at full stretch, Bentley manages to get it. Looked as though it may have been heading wide. Good grab, though, by Bentley, who's not hanging around. And Bristol City have tried to play this game at a tempo. They are being frustrated so far in midfield by Ipswich, working very hard indeed in these kind of areas. And winning the ball back high up the field again. Well, Paige Peake was looking for the long ball forward, instead happy to go all the way back to goalkeeper Negri. Well, it was a nice move, well engineered by Ipswich outside of the penalty area, and there seems to be a clear tactic of shoot on sight. Well, Ipswich are trying to make some progress. Rhianna Dean looking to get onto the ball and make things awkward for this Bristol City defence. And Lawley decides to head home back to the goalkeeper Bentley. Been the busier of the two keepers so far. Well, here comes the breakaway, and that wasn't quite the pass that was needed from Hardy. But it's well picked up by Defer. Bristol City swarming the ball. Hardy chasing away on the right-hand side here. Opportunity to deliver in and an opportunity to win Bristol City's first corner kick of the game. Deflected away off of Peskett. Well, she's always been happy over the course of this season so far to what they call run the channels. And gets herself into a good position to cross the ball in here, looked after by Peskett. Bristol City with the first corner kick of the game. Well, the curling ball into the 6-yard box is glanced in. What a brilliant start to the game for Bristol City as Sophie Ingle makes her mark. And with just 6 minutes of the game gone, the home side lead. Well, as is so often the way, Sophie Ingle sets the tone after a brilliant corner into a dangerous area by Saiz. The Chilean international onto the head of Ingle. And she directed it perfectly into the corner. It's a wonderful header, and it's a brilliant start for Bristol City. Well, she said when she came into this club, she wants to get the club promoted, and she loves winning. And that is a very good start here for Bristol City. And Sophie Ingle, as has often been the case in her time with Chelsea, is the one who looks to galvanise the group. An early goal, guided into the corner expertly, and the Welsh international has got Bristol City off to the best of starts. Ipswich are looking for an instant response here, and Peskett is trying to drift clear. Syme was there to win the ball back, and it's sent on its way away from danger, although only momentarily, because here comes Bethan Rowe surging along the left-hand side. Rowe again has a look to see what's arriving into the penalty area. Looking for the glancing touch, but it's headed away well by Lawley. Grace Neville is on the chase, and she's managed to get the ball back into a very good area indeed, and Ipswich get the shots away. And Rhianna Dean has won a corner. Very good response here from Ipswich, having conceded a couple of minutes ago. And whilst Bristol City find themselves in a really good position at the top of the table, they definitely have struggled defensively over the campaign. Needed a better corner than that, though. Gave it straight back to Bristol City, and it's smashed on its way by Ward. And now there's a bit of a foot race to get after the ball, but Mitchell is able to grab it, and she goes all the way back to Negri. Well, that's where Ipswich need to make better use of their chances when they arrive. Had a corner and unable to find a teammate with it. It was an easy clearance away for Ward. Joe Sheehan, the coach, spoke so much ahead of this game about defensive problems that could so easily have been eradicated, and well, it does feel as though that was another one there, as Ingle all too easily was able to flick that header into the corner. Although, of course, a player like Sophie Ingle playing in WSL 2, well, it almost seems a bit ridiculous. Now here is Ward, and she looks for the direct route forward. And she wasn't too far away from picking out Farrugia, who was making her way on towards the penalty area. Ingle, the goal scorer, turns one around the corner. Defoe is there. And Bristol City have worked the crossing opportunity, and it's another. Well turned in at the front post by Hardy, who is there for her 4th goal in the league this season. What a signing she is proving to be. And what an unbelievable start to this game for Bristol City, who are tearing Ipswich apart. Well, there is so much to like about this goal for Bristol City. So many players involved. A sweeping move down the left-hand side. Saiz is involved again. Lovely ball into the front post and swept beyond the keeper by Hardy. An expert touch from a brilliant number 9. Well, what a start to life for Bristol City for Rio Hardy, and perhaps the most difficult player to sign for any team at any level is that player who at the top end of the pitch will consistently score you goals, and in Rio Hardy, Bristol City seem to have found the player who will do that for them on a regular basis, and that is what makes them such a dangerous side at this level over this season. They have taken a little while to get going in this campaign. It wasn't the best of starts for Bristol City with that result on the opening day, but well, more recently they have found their groove, and they are heading into next week's matchup, and it's a big one against Charlton at the Valley, heading into that game in perhaps the best possible form that they could be in. This game is far from done, but Bristol City have put themselves in the driving seat with the 2 very early goals here. Well, they're on their way into the penalty area again, Bristol City, and it's 3. What a lovely turn by Lexi Lloyd-Smith, who continues her brilliant start to the season. Well, there are big smiles here at Ashton Gate, and so they should be. This is an outrageous start to this game here for the home team. Well, it's a goal of real quality. She swivels away, opens up her body nicely, and it's a smart finish into the corner. And Bristol City are leading by 3, and we only have 13 minutes of the game gone. Well, the same old problems for Ipswich Town. It's defensively that they've really had issues. The team with the worst defensive record so far this season, but, well, Bristol City have started with a game plan, and they mean business. And, of course, there's lots of incentive at the top end of the table this season with the 2 promoted sides automatically, with Barclays Women's Super League expansion coming next season. And then, of course, we've got the playoff matchup for a 3rd spot. Well, what a chance for Bristol City to get themselves back up at the top table. Bit of room here for Ipswich on the right-hand side. Can they grab a goal to pull themselves back into the game? They've had some nice moves. And that wasn't a bad turn, but Celia Strook saw what was coming from Rhianna Dean. Battled hard though, chasing down the lost causes, Dean, and she won the ball back and then instantly lost it And Bristol City on the breakaway, looking for more. Well, we have seen Syme, the captain, more often on the right-hand side over the course of this season. Adopting that position here, and she's got herself into an area to cross the ball in, and it very nearly led to the fourth goal of the game. It's well pushed away in the end by Negri. Bristol City are claiming a corner. Well, there have been some really lovely passing patterns from Bristol City. Well, they scored from their last corner. Sophie Ingle was able to turn in. She won't be able to do too much right now because she's on the floor. Back up onto her feet here now. And the referee is going to have to come across, Levi Gray, with a bit of a conversation for the two players who continue to tangle. 4 in formation on the penalty spot, waiting to attack it. They spin to make their move, and it very nearly fell for Rio Hardy, and a chance for another. Lawley into midfield, and just look at them go here. Ingle showing her quality again. Pass doesn't quite reach Hardy on this occasion. She was the intended target. Now the impressive Saiz is onto the ball. Oh, that's a really lovely touch. Bristol City looking for goal, and it's wide of target. Well, if we're wondering what the approach might be from Bristol City, given that they already have 3, doesn't look like they are about to start backing off anytime soon. Lovely relationship building between these two on the left. Saiz again into Farouja, and her hit just wide. Well, a bit of a chase here to get after the ball. But it's Bristol City who get there, and they've been very good at attacking, and they are dealing with every single threat at the back so far too. Bristol City waiting to start another move. Ward's header, bit of a pullback there, but the referee has allowed the game to flow. There was no advantage for Ipswich. It's going to be a free kick. Well, Ipswich could certainly do with a moment of inspiration from their captain here. She will look to provide, and she delivers to the back of the area, but the ball was just a bit too long for the diving Thomas, and the best she can do is put that out of play. Well, Charlotte Healy said that the result against Sunderland means nothing if we don't back that up today with a big win here against Ipswich. And her players have certainly heard the words. Could not have asked for a better start here, you would think, Charlotte Healy. And you just wonder whether this result or news of it has started to filter through to those at the Valley. Charlton 0, Southampton 0, the top side yet to make a mark in that matchup against Southampton. Looks like it will be a tough tie. Southampton have had a pretty good start to this season. Bristol City have lost once here over the course of this season, and Sophie Ingle was sent off in that game against Nottingham Forest, and it feels as though that's what Ipswich might need here. Starting to look a bit like a training ground exercise as Bristol City zip the passes around, no real pressure arriving from Ipswich. And it's a lovely sweeping move again, right through the middle by Bristol City. What a chance! And it was swerving in the air, made it difficult for Negri. And she's able to push over the top of the bar just about. What a lovely burst forward it was by the impressive Saiz. And she set the wheels in motion for this chance that was pushed away. Will be Saiz again who will take the corner. And again, it's sent towards the edge of the 6-yard box. There was a bit of an appeal there for a foul on Sela Struck. But the referee had a look, and Levi Gray, the official here, has decided there won't be a penalty for Bristol City, much to the relief of the Ipswich defence. Ipswich free kick inside the centre circle. And it's a free kick here that will be taken by Paige Peake. Plenty to aim at on the edge of the box. And Bristol City easily turn away and instantly look to get on the break. And they zip the passes around so nicely. This is where they are so effective. And they very nearly get themselves in again, and they would have done were it not for the last-minute challenge that arrived to take the ball away. Might now be a chance to have a breakaway of their own, and there is room for Thomas on the left. Thomas cuts in field, runs into Ingle. And as we've seen time and time again, just waiting there in the right place at the right time. Sophie Ingle, so effective at breaking play up. Now Peskett. And Ipswich are forced back, and any momentum that the attack may have had has broken down ever so slightly. Well, it's a chance to drive on and a chance to test Fran Bentley, but for a goalkeeper of her quality, a pretty easy gather. The bounce came a fair few yards in front of her, and it was a pretty easy save in the end. Strook is expecting the press from Ipswich, but Ipswich are happy to sit off. Ball has been given away here by Syme. Bristol City, well, they've been so good at connecting the passes, you can forgive one loose one. Lexi Lloyd-Smith this time can only put this one out of play. Well, you wonder what the move is from here for Joe Sheehan. It's perhaps a bit of a surprise we haven't had one of those tactical breaks that we so often see in women's football. Lexi Lloyd-Smith works it wide into the space here on the right-hand side, and it's a chance for Ward to drive on. Well, they've done well here, Ipswich, to win it. And Strook is back, and it's good cover work to take the ball away. And now Ingle with so much room to decide what she wants to do. Ward, and Hardy squeezes the ball through, and here is Lloyd-Smith. Back she goes to Syme. That's a devilish ball in. Well, it was right into that corridor of uncertainty, and Hardy was attacking it, but she just wasn't quite able to get there. Really lovely football again, though, by Bristol City. Again, so much to like about the way that they go about their business. And it's a really lovely ball by Syme that wasn't too far away from connecting. Bentley's big clearances sent back away by the Ipswich defence, and Rowe driving through that central area, trying to get Ipswich into better areas here. Well, when they've been in front of goal, Bristol City have just been ruthless. That has been the difference here. They've had a lot of the ball, but they've had it in really good areas. And they just have that bit more experience at this level. And of course, it wasn't so long ago that this team were competing in the Barclays Women's Super League. And when you're looking at a team that's got the quality of the likes of Sides and Ingle, with all of that international experience that comes with their careers, well, they are going to be a big test for anybody in WSL 2 this season. Certainly a big test for Ipswich. Well, here's some room on the right here for Wards. And she waits for support to arrive. And Syme navigates her way through. And the flag is up, Syme drifting into an offside position. And it's going to be a free kick here for Ipswich Town. Well, a pretty good start to the game for those Bristol City supporters who are gathered up there. And if it stays like this, well, the WSL 2 table takes a massive twist as Bristol City will step up into second place, with Birmingham City not playing until tomorrow. They've got a match up against Nottingham Forest. Bit of pressure on for Birmingham. That's a nice turn by Dean. And now Waring, decent looking ball, crying out for a better touch inside the penalty area. It's actually really good defending by Saiz. Well, Saiz went diving in and did enough here. What a wonderful cross into the penalty area it was. And it was only just beyond Thomas. Well, the corner is dealt with in the effort from the edge of the penalty area. It had to be taken quickly, and that doesn't provide any trouble at all for the goalkeeper Bentley. Jenadier way off target. That's another promising looking breakaway here for Bristol City. Syme leading the charge. And what a slay. Oh, it looked as though she kept it out, but it's just beyond the reach of Negri. And it creeps in for goal number 4 for Bristol City. Well, Emily Syme has been superb so far here this afternoon, lays it on a plate for Farrugia, and she does ever so well to steer into the corner.
The score here now, it's 4-0 to Bristol.
Well, what an afternoon for Charlotte Healy's side. Well, Farrugia, who's got such an unbelievable track record at this level. Such a super player for this team. And again, Bristol City have 4 goals, just as they did last week, and they have 4 separate goal scorers, and that is what makes them such a dangerous team. Well, what's his move from here? How do you handle this one? Joe Sheehan with a bit of thinking to do as the half-time whistle approaches. 10 minutes away from that here. Ward, the England under-23 international, and Syme again with such lovely feet, finding space on the edge of the penalty area. Now Ingle, and here is Farouja. And Farouja crosses in, was looking for the return pass to Ingle, doesn't find her teammate on this occasion, and anywhere will do, as that is smashed away by Thomas. Well, this time Farouja gets her head down and drives on towards the area, delivers in towards Lexi Lloyd-Smith. Bit of a head collision there, the referee will have to stop play. And the physio team will be called on here for Ipswich Town. Well, it was another lightning-quick breakaway for Bristol City. But it does lead to a rather nasty collision, and there is protocol now. And that's why we have the physio team called on. Well, what a show so far for these Bristol City fans. 37 minutes of the game gone, already seen 4 goals. Well, this, you feel, is what Ipswich need, an opportunity to come across and speak to the coach. They started ever so well in the game and really flew out of the blocks, but it's that early goal that came that really knocked the stuffing out of them. Ingle's header set the tone, and from there, Bristol City have never looked back. And as soon as goal number 4 went in from Farouja, Charlotte Healy, the coach, was pushing her arms up into the air to suggest that she wants them to keep this tempo up. Wants Bristol City to chase on for more goals. And it's perhaps no surprise, because at the moment, or at least coming into this matchup, Bristol City level on points with Birmingham. And it's only really goal difference that separates those two teams, so it could well prove to be an important factor by the time we get to the end of the campaign. Megan Waring is back up onto her feet, which is excellent news, and preparing to come back on here for Ipswich. She will have to wait for the allotted time. I think it's 30 seconds that she has to wait before coming back on. Well, Dean's touch goes back, and Ipswich have a rare spell. We haven't seen one for a while, where they've got possession of the ball and they're able to knock it around and try to create something here. Well, Bristol City have a free kick. They have 5 minutes to go until half-time, 5 minutes to add goal number 5. Fabulous ball by Saiz. And this one is defended and taken away before Hardy can get after it. Lovely sliding touch. Now Ruby Doe doing well to protect and get the ball away. Well, what does she say at half-time? Put your feet up, girls. Probably not. They have been very good here, Bristol City. They made it look so easy. Got a bit of defending to do here, but they smother the ball as they have done so well. Although Ipswich driving away do get their chance in on goal. Just lacks a bit of accuracy. No trouble here for Fran Bentley. Farouja was after it after an awkward fall for Lloyd Smith, but she looks okay. I did wonder for a moment if she may have injured herself as she fell back. She hasn't, which is excellent news for Bristol City. Just wonder in the second half whether we might start to see Charlotte Healy try out a few things that maybe she has been thinking about, a couple of variations. Maybe she hasn't been able to work on. Ipswich free kick, drilled in to the edge of the penalty area and kept alive as well. Bristol City players don't want to go diving in here. Mitchell's header, and she's gone down under a challenge. And it's cleared away for a chance on goal, but that would have been something special. Had that one nestled in the back of the net from Rowe, it goes sailing wide in the end. Well, the chase is on and Ward is leading the way. Bristol City looking for a fifth before the break. And the cutback is turned away by Mitchell, but it hasn't been completely cleared, and Farouja's onto it now. She's got tricky feet, she gets the shot away, and at the second time of asking, Negri is able to grab hold. Well, it looked dangerous when Farouja was here, got herself into position brilliantly. And it was a big test for Negri, but this time she gets there. And at the other end, Ipswich have a big chance. It very nearly fell to Dean. The Ipswich number 9 is able to cut it back, but she can't find a teammate. Top save by Fran Bentley.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 3 additional minutes. That's 3 additional
A minimum
minutes.
of 3 to be added to the end of the first half here. Lloyd Smith trying to open up the space on the right-hand side of the field here. Needed to be a good header from Rowe, and it was. And she goes all the way back to goalkeeper Negri. Now Ingle. Sweeping pass across to the left, and here is Farrugia. Well, there's always that flurry of excitement whenever she's on the ball. This time the block. And Syme again. Right at the heart of everything good in the first half here for Bristol City. Well, what a ruthless first half showing from Bristol City here on their own patch at Ashton Gate. She set the tone, Sophie Ingle, with a goal from a corner. And from there, Bristol City have never looked back. Hardy added another. And Lexi Lloyd-Smith with an impressive strike too to make it 3. And perhaps the best of the bunch, Farrugia. Bristol City have shown real quality in front of goal, and they lead at the break by 4-0. And it will be Ipswich who will get us started with a rare move as they sweep one right out of play and down into the corner, almost a rugby-style move as they look to gain some possession in a better area of the pitch. And to continue the rugby theme, Bristol City have made 10 yards along the touchline. And here is Saiz. Well, there was a push there off of the ball. It was spotted by the referee. I thought she'd missed it for a second, Levi Gray. But it will be pulled back here for an Ipswich free kick. That was a good spot by the referee. Rihanna Dean is the one who is brought down here. Well, it's a free kick from deep, and it's all about winning the first and then the second ball, as Peake delivers one to the edge of the penalty area, and it's Bristol City who win the first ball. And it's Mitchell who has to go back into her own half. Syme, who was so impressive in the first half, does well to get after the ball. And she is happy to go back towards Wards. And Ingle, who got things started from a goals perspective for Bristol City. Using the ball safely here. Ward again, in behind, off go Bristol City. And Syme into crossing position, but this time unable to pick out a teammate with the ball. Another Bristol City delivery, another very good chance coming up, and it makes it through, but this time the post comes to the rescue for Ipswich Town. Well, if we thought that Bristol City were planning to let up and to give Ipswich a bit of a breather, no signs of that. Again on the left-hand side, a lovely ball, swept in by Defoe this time, and it was lovely hold-up play too by Hardy, who laid off. And what a chance for Ward it was. Well, Bristol City demonstrating that they have so many avenues to goals. And they just look so dangerous the way they sweep the ball around. It looks so well rehearsed. They're on their way again here. Sayers has gone out to the left-hand side to Lloyd Smith. Continues to rotate around. We've seen her in central areas. We've seen her wider. She wants it here. She's not going to get it, as Defoe tries one from range. And it's wide of the target. There's no trouble for the goalkeeper. Well, clearly Charlotte Healy has sent her team out in this second half looking for more. Really getting a wonderful tune out of her team, the former Manchester United assistant manager. Did wonderful things with Manchester United and Mark Skinner. Helped them win their first major trophy, the FA Cup. Helped them qualify for the Champions League as well, which they are in for the first time this season. Ipswich have a corner. Dima's putting the pressure on. And it's swept away. Well, here comes the Ipswich corner routine. And Peskett turned, and instantly she had company. And very quickly, Bristol City are up on the break, and just look at the red shirts flooding forward here. Farrugia has a look to see if she can bring a teammate into play. Ball in, headed on its way, but not completely. And the ricochet off of Farrugia after the clearance from Deer, but it was straight at Negri. The young, ambitious Ipswich goalkeeper, recently selected for the England under-23 setup. Probably learnt a few lessons here. Well, the chase was on. Thomas always looked as though she was in an offside position. And the whistle is blown. That's really lovely football from Bristol City. They are a joy to watch. Swept into the edge of the penalty area and sent on its way before Farrugia can reach it. Grace Neville back on defensive duty, who's had her work cut out, it's fair to say, up against Farrugia in this game. Bristol City hunting for goal number 5. Send in another corner. Lloyd-Smith lifting in, this is a good chance, and this time saved. They won't get to the rebound though. Ipswich can't keep that one out. And the goals just keep on coming here for Bristol City, who make it 5. And Sophie Ingle has her second of the game.
Goal for Bristol City, scored by number 5.
Well, Negri did well to keep out the initial chance from Ingle, but she was the smartest to react, the Welsh international, inside the 6-yard box. And it's Bristol City 5, Ipswich 0.
For Ipswich Town, leaving the field, number 18, Ruby Doe, being replaced by number 4, Charlotte Fay.
Well, she really is looking like a wonderful acquisition for Bristol City. Really no surprise. Perhaps the biggest surprise is that she wasn't snapped up by a team who are playing in the Barclays Women's Super League, but she may well be there next season. If Bristol City continue like this. Confirmation for you that Ipswich, during the celebrations, made a change. And Fleming comes on to replace Doe. Well, you can imagine the half-time team talk. If you've played team sport, it's always the way. If you're losing heavily at half-time, just imagine it's a clean slate. And away you go. But Bristol City are winning the second half too. The difficulty for Joe Sheehan and Ipswich, they won't want to let this one run away with them too much. Big game coming up next week against Crystal Palace. You do fear a bit for Ipswich here, because Bristol City are playing with such a rhythm that if they keep going like this, it could easily become 7 or 8. Farouja showing an eagerness to add another to her tally. Sai is happy to go back. And Syme was looking for the ball, but Ward won't find her. And now chasing and running the channels. It's the impressive Hardy. Hardy's still going. She will touch one back, and that's acrobatically sent away by the diving Bethan Rowe. Hardy again, lovely feet. She stops in her tracks, and goal number 6, well, it wasn't too far away, that is for sure. But crucially, the effort is the wrong side of the post for Bristol City and for Defoe. Well, Hardy did ever so well to keep hold of the ball. Bethan Rowe did ever so well to keep that one out. Ingle then tried her luck, so did Hardy. And Defoe then put one wide. Well, the chase is on, but that is a short pass back, and Hardy is in, and she's got another, and Bristol City make it 6. And now the chase is on to see who will get the hat-trick. Hardy with her second of the afternoon. Smartly done. Well, Ipswich the masters of their own downfall in terms of that goal there. That one was very avoidable. Ipswich trying to get themselves into crossing position. Neville will send one into the box, hung up into a very good area. But Bristol City continue to show an eagerness here to maintain the clean sheet. Elsewhere in WSL 2, Charlton, I think, have added a second. Yes, they have. Hutton has scored one to add to the one from Amelie Testrup in the first half, and they are leading by 2-0 against Southampton. So it looks as though Charlton will remain clear at the top of the table. They will have a 4-point gap on Bristol City, which could easily be closed up next week, with Bristol City heading to the Valley. Birmingham play against Nottingham Forest in their matchup tomorrow. Will be a bit of pressure on them after this one here. Well, that is a loose pass. And, well, it's one back by Bristol City just as things started to look dangerous. Well, the chase is on. Early ball into the penalty area, and this could lead to the opportunity here. It's good work by Peskett. Did well to hesitate, but it was an excellent block to take the ball away. Peskett again, curling one in. It was just beyond the reach of Thomas. Looked as though she was going to be able to trouble Bentley, but it's been a pretty quiet second half for Fran Bentley in between the posts for Bristol City.
Replacement for Bristol City, leaving the field, number 21, Marie Deferred, being replaced by number 18, Veronica Mina.
Well, the changes
Also leaving the field,
for
number 10,
Bristol City.
Lloyd
See the removal of Defer and Lexi Lloyd-Smith, two brilliant performers in midfield, and the introduction of Vera Jones and Malika Mina as well. Well, Vera Jones is straight into the action. Big challenge on the 17-year-old who is on loan from Chelsea. And it's Ipswich who win it back. A couple of players coming onto the field here, eager to show for Bristol City that they deserve a place in the starting 11. Going to be hard to find a way in given the performance today. Ipswich are in, maybe this is their chance. Bentley with a wonderful stop, and Neville is denied. Well, she looks as though she was going to go all the way there. Grace Neville seemed to be set that she was about to make her mark. Showed really good desire to get herself into position here, but Bentley in top form pushes away. Well, Simon's moved more centrally. She tries to feed the ball on. It's given away. It's back with Ipswich, but not for long. One back by Jones. And Mina is excellent in keeping hold of the ball for Bristol City.
Replacements for Ipswich Town, leaving the field number 17, Sophie Peskett, being replaced by number 11, Shauna Guyett. Also leaving the field,
Well,
number
Guyett comes on here,
24, Paige
and so too
Easton,
Boswell.
being replaced by number 2, Maria Boswell.
Sayers looking for the feet of Rio Hardy, and as much as she will get the plaudits for her goal-scoring capabilities, wonderful at holding the ball up, trying to flick on here, as Syme tries to get in on the action. Now Jones. Vera Jones turns in, deflected away before it reaches goalkeeper Negri. And in there to tidy up in midfield is Mina. Well, they've never taken their foot off of the pedal here, Bristol City. They are chasing the goals. And I'm sure the conversation must have happened at half-time that those goals could prove to be pretty crucial by the time we get to the end of the season. If you look at the way that Birmingham have been scoring this season, you know, they may well end up being a team that Bristol City are competing with for one of the automatics. And so Bristol City trying to rack them up here, and they're certainly doing that. 6 already. And no signs of them holding up on that front. Sayers with the long ball over the top. And the chase is on for Hardy. This time the pass back is good. Clearance away nearly wasn't. Ward after the ball, cuts across towards the Chelsea loanee Vera Jones, who is rather aggressively challenged. She felt that should have been a free kick, but the referee was of a different idea. Levi Gray, our official here, allows the game to flow. Well, Lawley has a look over her shoulder, sees what's coming. Oh, this is coming, big volley. No trouble though for Fran Bentley. Well, the chase is on, and Bentley has to step in to prevent Thomas from finding her way through, and it looks as though there might be a bit of a problem here. It could be cramp, and that does look to be the way. Sayers steps across to do the necessary. Well, it's a decent looking corner. It's a very good chance, but it's one that Boswell can't do too much with. And it's sent away by Bristol City. Jones goes wide, waiting there is Ward. Jones wants it back. Ward runs into the space, left by Jones. Good football again by Bristol City. Pass in behind by Ingle for Ruja, looking for a teammate in the middle. And eventually the whistle is blown for an offside decision, I think, against Faruja. Well, in terms of teams coming from this division leading the way, London City Lionesses are flying the flag. Obviously, they've had fairly big investment, and that's something of an understatement, but what a big result again today in the Barclays Women's Super League as they've beaten Tottenham Hotspur by 4-2. We have seen the newly promoted side struggle over recent seasons, but London City Lionesses up to 6th in the Barclays Women's Super League table. Bristol City are set to go 2nd in the WSL 2 table. And they've got themselves a free kick here. Fleming is the one who's penalised by the referee. Well, here is Syme, who will deliver in as Bristol City search for 7. And what a chance for the hat-trick. It's Rio Hardy who sends a header over the top of the bar. Well, given her performance in the game, you expected to see this hit the back of the net. Had to react quickly. Couldn't send that one in the direction of the goalkeeper. Not this time anyway. Still got 18 minutes to find the third. Off goes Dean for Ipswich. Fine ball in. And not too far away from Guy, who was arriving. Well, it's going to be another change coming up, and it's going to be O'Leary who will enter the action here for Bristol City. Just getting some final words, some final tactical instructions from Charlotte Healy before entering the field here.
Replacement for Bristol City, leaving the field, number 19, Maria Faruja.
Well, what a performance from Faruja on the left-hand side here. Scored a wonderful goal in the first half, a wonderful set-up for the second as well for Hardy. And she's replaced in the latter stages here by O'Leary. Well, it's been a more even split, you would have to say, in the second half. And Ipswich have had their chances at the other end. Very good opportunity for Grace Neville as she marched into the area. Good ball into the box only moments ago that needed a touch, and Thomas also had an opportunity. Bristol City standing firm, looking to grab a clean sheet here, looking to rack up the goals and increase the goal difference. Big deflection on that, the referee allowing the game to flow. Well, she did momentarily, but it's a head injury here, so she has to stop the game. Well, if it keeps on like this season for these Bristol City fans, it's going to be a very enjoyable one. Looks as though the latest change is being prepared here for Bristol City. Will be Hebard, who will be coming on. Well, big job coming up for she and the coach of Ipswich, as he will look to prepare his team for next week. I don't imagine that he would have anticipated that his team would have been getting too much from this game here against Bristol City. They have always looked like, even before the season kicked off, a team that would be pushing for the title. The good news for Ipswich here is that Thomas is back up onto her feet and looks as though she'll be back on in just a second. Well, the chase is on to get after the ball. Ipswich are happy to put that one out of play. Good recovery by Grace Neville. And Bristol City are able to make this change. Hebard will be brought on here. And Struck is the one who is replaced at the back. And Ipswich are making a change too.
Replacement for Ipswich Town, leaving the field, number 7, Natasha Thomas, being replaced by number 10, Lucy O'Brien.
And O'Brien enters the action. Good pressure by Ipswich, setting the traps, trying to win the ball back. In these areas, they've actually been really effective. Here comes the chase away, and Jones trying to feed it through. Not quite the pass that she was hoping for. That's a nice pass across to Neville, and well, Neville sensibly decides to cut back. Ipswich have got themselves into a good position here. And Waring will go back to Neville. And now Mitchell. Neville, well worked. Marching into the area, sends in a bit too close to Bentley, who punches clear. And that was clever from Marie Ward. And it's going to be a goal kick. Well, it's really interesting to watch the development here of Vera Jones, 17-year-old on loan from Chelsea. Had some pretty big names here on loan at Bristol City in their time. Aggie Beaver-Jones, Grace Clinton, both of them fall into that category. And she's very raw, Vera Jones, but, well, who knows? Could well be the next big name to come out of Ashton Gate. Ten minutes remain here. Bristol City, as they have been from the 6th minute of the game, well on top. All started there with that goal from Sophie Ingle. And here is Jones, looking to see if she can make her mark. Bristol City into a crossing position and given the chance to make it 7, and they still got the opportunity here. Hardy bustling around, trying to find a way to get that hat-trick away. And it won't happen this time. You have to ask some questions, though, about this Ipswich defending. Had their opportunity to clear this away. Well, that looked like a shove, and it was right under the nose of the referee. Boswell is penalised here, going to be a free kick for Bristol City. Well, what an afternoon for those fans here of Bristol City. They've been pretty good when they've been here at home, also had wins against Durham and Portsmouth. Not a bad place to play your home matches, that is for sure. Well, here comes the Bristol City free kick. And this time it's an Ipswich head and the ball is away. And, well, it's a good recovery by the pacey Mina, who manages to get back. Here comes Mina, looking for some support, which arrives to her left-hand side. And Saiz skids across and keeps the ball in play. Well, Bristol City trying to get that ball up towards Rio Hardy quickly. Unable to on this occasion, as Saiz steps back. Had such a crucial role to play in the first half in everything that was good for Bristol City, and they were very good. There were some passing routines that, well, they've clearly been working on, and they're working very well. A well-established team at this level. Well, Charlotte Healy's come in and, well, she's been supported in the transfer market, but she really has gathered this group together. And they are playing as a team. I think that's so key to what they are all about. It's not about one particular star, although they have a few of them. Doesn't seem to be too much in the way of ego in this setup, and they just go about their business together as a group. And maybe after some of the tests that they have had over the course of this season, they have learnt from those defeats. Guy trying to march through, but Bristol City are sticking to it and trying to make sure that they don't concede here. Well, he probably can't wait for this one to end, although, of course, what happens afterwards are the press conferences. So a few questions for him to answer, that is for sure. Ahead of two big matches coming up against Palace and then Durham. And those are the games where Ipswich really need to show their mettle and see if they can compete at this level and get themselves off of the foot of the table. Well, Hebar was looking to travel away with the ball, and Ipswich have a free kick. And they have just over a minute now, and you would imagine they'll be pretty eager for this one to end. A big defeat here, their biggest of the season so far. They have been put through their paces by one of the best in the division. Big up and under, looking for the glancing touch. Bristol City managed to get to the clearance after good work by Mina in the challenge. One final breakaway perhaps here for Bristol City, as O'Leary makes her way on.
The fourth official has indicated there will be a minimum of 5 additional minutes. That's 5 additional minutes.
Well, maybe there will be time for a couple more chances here. Nice turn by Saez. Away she goes. And the impressive Syme on the turn, trying to feed one through. And it's good strength being shown by Boswell. And Ingle gets to that one. Bristol City go marching through, and Hardy just can't find that chance that would give her the opportunity to get the hat-trick. Nice ball through the middle. And Ingle steps across. I would imagine she's never scored a career hat-trick, Sophie Ingle, so if Bristol City gets a corner, things could get interesting. Well, marching away, O'Leary's ball in, and it's goal number 7, superbly finished off. Hebbard gets in on the axe. Well, the two substitutes combine beautifully, and Hebbard will come across to salute this ball in. It's a really lovely delivery from O'Leary. And Bristol City's young stars shining. The whole team is shining. Bristol City 7, Ipswich 0.
The score here at Ashton Gate, and it's 7-0 to Bristol City.
Well, it's all eyes on the referee now as we await the final whistle. And what will be a huge round of applause from the fans here. A dominant Bristol City win. They were ruthless from start to finish. And Bristol City tonight will move up to second in the table. Ingle started things, and the early goal from her after 6 minutes really did set the tone, and from there they never looked back. Hardy grabbed two, could so easily have been more. She was superb once again. And in the mix, Lexi Lloyd-Smith and Farouja added goals too. And then right at the end of the game, the 17-year-old Isabel Hebard stepped up, and after brilliant work by O'Leary, she was well found. It was another smart goal, but it was a team display. There were some lovely patterns of play, a statement performance which puts them right up there in the mix. They are tucked up behind the league leaders, Charlton. And there is a big showdown coming next week in WSL 2 between Bristol City and Charlton as they head to the Valley. A brilliant performance here. Bristol City winners by 7-0 against Ipswich Town. Well, I think this was really the way for Bristol City. There's a wonderful togetherness in this group that has been brought by Charlotte Healy. And she will want them to remember the way that they have gone about their business here. Scored the early goal, and everything that clearly they have been working on over the course of the weeks in training, it all came together here. There will be easier days for Ipswich, and it's just how quickly they can regroup as they step towards, well, matches that would certainly help them to get off of the bottom of the table. Crystal Palace upcoming next. What a performance though from Bristol City. And the pressure is on for Birmingham, who they've overtaken in the table and play tomorrow. Well, this is the breakdown of the game. And actually, Bristol City didn't have all that many shots on target for all of their dominance. But when they were in position, they were so clinical. And that was the stat that really stuck out for me, the passing accuracy, because they played this really quick brand of slick football. And when they knitted it all together, there was such accuracy. The passes were also played into areas where the players really wanted to receive them. Bristol City were very, very good. Really impressed here this afternoon. And it all came together as they scored 7 wonderful goals. It's the standout result of the day. The earlier matchup between Durham and Newcastle finished 1-1. Charlton managed to hold on despite a late fight back from Southampton. Charlton scored 2 through Testrup and Hutton. Bourne got a late goal in injury time, but it wasn't enough for them to come back there. Big result for Charlton against Southampton, who've been doing well. Crystal Palace 1, Sheffield United 2. 2 goals in the first half, enough for Sheffield United there to get 3 points. And it's still going between Sunderland and Portsmouth. And Portsmouth have just grabbed a really late goal in that matchup, which isn't exactly great news for Ipswich. But they've scored 2 in injury time to flip that game on its head. A really exciting matchup between Sunderland and Portsmouth in WSL 2, which is still ongoing. Well, thank you for being here for this one. At Ashton Gate, Bristol City turning on the style. and winning this one by 7 goals to nil.